Hey, it's me, AP, aka Mr. Movie Cheer, and welcome back to another episode. And on this episode, I am going to be discussing Pokemon and 30 years of Pokemon. Talking about the movies, the TV show, the games, the Pokemon cards, my memories of all of that as a fan of this franchise, this brand. But before I do get into it, I just want to throw one question to you watching this episode, listening along to this episode. What is one of your very first memories of Pokemon? Was it the games? Was it the TV show, the movies, the cards? Let me know what that memory is below in the comments. Anyway, let's get to the topic. Yeah, so it has been 30 years, which is pretty crazy to think it's 30 years now. So I want to go through it. I want to deep dive into all this. I want to do a bit of a timeline as well. So it is, 2026 right now. It's as a filming this one, it's right before Pokemon Day. I'm going to release this on Pokemon Day, the 27th of February 2026. And Pokemon was launched 30 years ago in Japan on the February the 27th, 1996. That was the original launch date in Japan. It came to the UK, where I'm from, in 99, and it just, it's just went from strength to strength since. So, in the UK, we got the TV show first of all, I believe. So for me, the TV show aired in March 29th, 1999, by the way, the original TV show, the animation. Memories of that as a kid. Look, man, it was just super fun. You're just like, especially I was at that age. I was around I'm 35 right now. 99. I would have been like 8 or 9 years old. And I was, I felt like a similar age to the characters in Pokemon. I felt like it was almost like I was going, that could be me picking my first Pokemon, going on this journey, this adventure. And I think as I was young, it's just, I could really relate to this sort of like, this big wide world and exploring it because I'm a kid still and, got to explore the world of life and stuff. And it was just so much fun. And I remember watching it, like watching the TV show, and just, I love that journey of Ash with Pikachu and, getting his Pokemon, going find his badges, going on the journey. And it was just so much fun. And it was just like, really one of my favourite animation shows as a kid. I loved it. And I come from a generation that really enjoyed Power Rangers, Beetleborgs, stuff like that. I really like cartoons, but Pokemon was one of the big ones. And it started with the TV show, I think for a lot of people here in the UK. So it was such a big thing, and Pokemon's one of them really interesting things where it's just not one thing. It's not just like a TV show or movie or video game. It's all of them combined. That's why what makes Pokemon so fun, I think, and so engaging for so many different people, because it's not a one. It's there's different things to do with it. If you don't like the TV show, you try the movie. You don't like the movie, you try the video games. There's so much to do with it. Next up, though, the trading cards. The Pokemon trading card game. So this was following its 1998 North American release. The trading card game was then introduced to the UK in 1999 as well. So I remember, collecting the cards was a huge thing as a kid for me. And I didn't really find it was a case where people were playing the game and battling the Pokemon. I did it occasionally, probably as a kid. I don't recall doing it I think for a lot of kids my age, from what I remember, it was just more collecting the cards, collecting the Pokemon that you enjoyed. It wasn't so much battling. I think it was just like collect every single card, it's collect the mania sort of thing. And yeah, I love the cards as a kid. And I think looking back now, I've got my original cards here. So I got this little case for it a couple of years ago. I used to have like this big Pikachu one. And I've still got all of my original cards. I think I may have given some to some family relatives over the years, but the majority of them I've still got. And do you know what? As an adult, I absolutely love just looking at the artwork now. And I bought this a couple of years ago, this case, for the reason being just to look at the artwork and just to enjoy the artwork. Because I think more as an adult now, this is what I I mostly enjoy about these cards is just looking through the artwork and just seeing all the different Pokemon and the art styles. And I feel this is for me as a physical media fan, as a guy who likes physical media, physical movies. This is exactly the same thing. It's like I love the artwork. That's what I like about movies, and I love about the physical of looking at these cards and just exploring them. And it's so much fun, even as an adult. I love the artwork. I think they are absolutely stunning. The art on some of them cards, absolutely brilliant. Really love it. Next, I want to go to the video games. So video games, again, another big part of Pokemon. For me, so what did I do? I played. Growing up, it was Pokemon Blue. I had then Pokemon. I think I had a Pokemon Yellow at some point. I didn't have it when it came out. I had Pokemon Silver as well. The first memory of playing the games was not on my Game Boy. I didn't have a Game Boy. My friend had a Game Boy, and he didn't live that far away. And I remember he used to come round. We played the Pokemon games. I think he had like Red or Blue, and we were playing the Pokemon games. And then I remember one evening, I probably told this story before, where I think he came around my house, and he left his Game Boy there with the Pokemon game on. He went home, he forgot about it, and how you can forget your Game Boy, I don't know. But I sneakily went on the Game Boy, and I remember my mum and dad saying, like, don't be playing it, don't run down the battery or anything like that. Or I was like, yeah, I'll just play for just like 5 minutes, and I get like 10, 20 minutes in playing this game, and it was so good. And I think I remember going back to the same spot and saving it where it was left off. But it was just such a fun, exciting thing to play as a kid, because you've never experienced a game. I'd never experienced like an RPG type of game before, and that going around, finding Pokemon in the wild, catching them with your Pokeballs. It was dead exciting, man. It was so fun. So I did obviously give the Game Boy back the next day, and he was none the wiser, as far as I'm aware. Never spoke to him again. No, I did. But yeah, my first game was Pokemon Blue then, and I got a Game Boy from my dad. Got I think it was a yellow Game Boy from the car boot, and I think it was the screen was a bit knackered, but it was working. You could play it, and it was amazing. It was amazing. And then a few years later, I ended up getting like a Game Boy Advance, a purple Game Boy Advance, and I loved the Game Boy Advance. It was such a cool console, and I got Pokemon Silver. And for me, Pokemon Silver, I played other games on the Switch, on the GameCube, and I've enjoyed some of the games, but Pokemon Silver always stands out as the game what I really enjoyed from Pokemon. Something about that game just really clicked with me. And I played like the Soul Silver, the remakes recently, and it's a fun game to go back to. I really do like Silver. It's definitely by far my favourite Pokemon game. I hope they do it on the Switch at some point. So I know, like I said, the Switch has a few Pokemon games. I've played a few of them on some of the new ones I've not played, so I do need to explore them a bit more. But so what I love about it is just there's so many options, isn't there, for the games, for the Pokemon games, and yeah, that was definitely the video games again. Another big memory and another big part of Pokemon for me as a fan. Now I want to get to something really special, because I found this picture online, and I'm going to get it up on my phone, so I'm going to just look at this picture for reference. Found this picture online of me as a kid at a Pokemon event. So to give a bit of context, I'm going to show the picture. This was in Southport, here in Southport's in Merseyside. If you've never been to Southport, beautiful town. You've got a bit of you've got the beaches there in Southport, a lovely town. It's known years ago for its fairground, and it sells a fairground now. But I remember as a kid, and again, I was about maybe 8 or 9, and I went to this Pokemon event. And luckily enough, I got this photo of me in front of this big Pokemon card of Pikachu. I actually have the small version of this card as well. But I remember going to this event as a kid, and I couldn't really remember it. And it's one of them where I had to kind of piece together a bit more information to kind of reignite the memories a bit more. So from what I gather, there was these events, because it was so big, Pokemon at the time, the trading card game and the TV show. They had events for the trading card game, and they had them all around the UK, and it was this big tent, and I'm pretty sure this is where the shopping centre is in Southport now. If you know Southport, I think that's where it was. There used to be a big field there, and there was a big tent. And if you went this event, let me know. If you were there at the same event I was, let me know as a kid. And yeah, these Pokemon events. This was the Pokemon League Summer Tour in '99 to 2000, so around that time period. And these events allowed players to go there and battle for badges, trade cards. It was just, if you're a fan of the trading card game, you go to this event. And there's loads of kids like myself went there. You see me, I've got my Pokemon shirt on, my green Pokemon shirt. And I just remember, I think for me, there's a lot of people getting involved. I was a very shy kid, so I didn't really get involved as much, but I think it was just to be there. It was like that Comic-Con experience, to go around there and mix with other people. And it was such a buzz as a kid, and I still remember it to this day. Going to that event with my parents, and it was just so much fun and it's so exciting because I was so, huge on Pokemon. So it was really fun. It was really fun. It was nice to have the memories and have the photo as well of the memories. But yeah, does it feel like 30 years? No, it is absolutely baffling that it's been 30 years now at Pokemon, and it is so unreal to think it's this series has been going for 30 years. Absolutely, like, bizarre. That's how quick time flies, man. Absolutely flies by. So next, I want to talk about Pokemon movies and collecting Pokemon physical media. More specifically, the movies, the TV shows moving forward. For me, how am I going to go about that? So first of all, I would say the first movie experience, the very first Pokemon movie, released here in the UK on the 14th of April 2000, Pokemon the movie. It has had a remake with new animations more recently, in a couple of years back, which was also really good. But I remember watching this movie. I think I would have went to my local Cineworld to watch this again with my parents. And yeah, I'd be honest, I can't really remember too many memories of going in there, but I remember watching it, and I remember having the VHS afterwards as well, getting the VHS when that eventually came out. What I do remember though, and I always confuse this story, I thought this was the original movie, but it wasn't. So the second movie then came out, the second Pokemon movie came out, Pokemon the movie 2000, released on the 22nd of December 2000 here in the UK. And they had this promotion where they gave out Pokemon cards. They gave out this like limited edition card, and it was an Ancient Mew card. So it was this really like this holographic card, looks really different from the rest of the Pokemon cards, looks amazing. I go to the cinema, so I go with my mum, and I go to my local Cineworld, and I go there, and I remember queuing up, and they're giving out these cards to everyone who's going in to see the movie. I get a card, and I remember saying to my mum beforehand, saying, so I think I must have said something like, can you tell them that my sister's really into Pokemon, and can we take one home for her? So we did it. We went in the queue. We had a bit of a scam going on. Me and me mum, mother cheer, and I got a Pokemon card, and she's like, yes, yeah. His sister's at home. She's a big fan as well. Can we get a Pokemon card as well? And yeah, they got a card. Now I think a bit of me in the daring attitude of me as a Pokemon fan as a kid came out, and I was like to my mum, I said, what if I go over and say, my friend is missing out today, and he'd love a Pokemon card as well? And she's like, why don't you try it? So I go back, and I don't know what she said there, but I go back and I ask, my friend, he's into Pokemon, he can't make it today, can I get a card as well for him? And look at this, guys, look at this. I've got it. So you've got one card. Where are they? 2, 3, and there's the other one again. 3 of these Mew cards in the collection. The scam worked. But yeah, it's just great memories. Again, I absolutely loved it. More recent memories though. The Detective Pikachu movie. That is a more recent movie in the Pokemon franchise, and that came out. What did it? It came out on the 10th of May 2019. So that's a good good while ago now. Nearly 7 years. Ryan Reynolds starred in that movie. I thought it was a really fun movie. I did watch it on a rewatch, and I wasn't like, I thought the first time round I enjoyed it a lot more, but I think again, what just blew my mind was the actual live action look at Pokemon and how visually they looked amazing. And I would love to see more of that. And I think for a first live action Pokemon movie, I think it really did good money at the time, and I think it was just a decent movie, a decent watch. What I would love to see is I'd love to see more movies down the line. Definitely, I absolutely love it. Let's talk about physical media though. Yeah, so I've got no Pokemon physical media, no movies, no TV shows, and I'll tell you why. It is really baffling that there's no. I go on HMV, I go on Amazon, and they do it overseas and in America. They have like the Pokemon Blu-rays of the first 3 movies. You can't get them over here. I think it's a US only disc as well, so you need like a multi-region player. There's no HMV, no Pokemon stuff. You have all your Pokemon toys and stuff like that, your pops. No Pokemon releases. I don't get what it is. Is it a rights thing, or if you can answer the question, let me know, because it's absolutely baffling to me. You can get stuff on out of print stuff, so you can get the DVDs of the original movie. But a lot of the other stuff, it's just really hard to come by, which is really disappointing. So I think it's something maybe I hope that down the line we'll get more UK releases. If not, I'm probably going to have to import in, because there's so many different releases. I went on eBay the other night, and there's different. I saw a lot of German releases of there was this box set I seen with all the different releases, all the movies. So there is releases out there, but I think maybe it's about digging around. So I do want to, even if it's just DVD, Blu-rays, I want to add a few movies to the collection over the coming years, just as a bit of a fun hobby. So that's something I'm definitely going to be looking at over the next couple of years. But I do hope we get some more UK releases of the TV shows, the movies over the coming years as well. So how will I be celebrating the 30th anniversary of Pokemon on Pokemon Day this year? I think I'm going to keep it simple. I'm going to probably download the new version of Pokemon Fire Red is being released on the Switch. They're just them versions from the DS. I'm going to download that, play that, have some fun playing Pokemon. I think I'm going to watch the Pokemon Day Presents event as well, which is on the afternoon here in the UK, the Pokemon Direct. And yeah, I might even just try and watch some old Pokemon TV shows, or see if I can find a stream for one of the Pokemon movies as well. Just keep it simple and just enjoy some Pokemon on Pokemon Day. So finally, what would I like to see over the next 30 years for Pokemon? This is a big question. It's a really huge question. Another 30 years, but I feel like it's going to be celebrated in 30 years' time. I feel like Pokemon is like Star Wars. It's a huge thing. I hope over the next 30 years we get more movies, more live action movies. I would love to see that world explored. And I think we will see it. I think it's such a big property that they wouldn't explore it more so. So more live action movies, definitely. More animated ones as well, I'd like to see. A Pokemon game, what I could visualise as a kid. I don't feel like we've got that game just yet, where that pure open world game where it's just visually stunning. Just you can go around, there's Pokemon just running around everywhere. It's a world that's populated by Pokemon. Feels big, feels real. I still haven't seen that game, and I want to see it, and I'm hoping we do see that sort of game down the line as well. And I think for me, just to see Pokemon just continue to grow over another 30 years, to see another generation of people enjoying Pokemon, and for my generation to continue to enjoy Pokemon, I think that's really important. That's what I want to see from Pokemon over the next 30 years, and I think it will do that. If you enjoyed this episode today, let me know your thoughts, and what are you doing for Pokemon Day for the 30th anniversary. As I said at the start of this video, let me know your very first Pokemon memory. What's your journey of Pokemon been? Have you been a fan? Are you no longer a fan? Let me know all your thoughts. Pokemon Day, what are your plans? Are you doing anything Pokemon related? What would you like to see over the next 30 years from Pokemon? Are you a fan of the movies, the video games, the cards, the TV show? let me know all your thoughts. This was a really fun episode to deep dive into, so thank you very much for watching, ladies and gents. Remember to spread a bit of movie cheer, and as always, I will see you next time.